Hey, welcome. We are live with the Unplugged edition of the Soccer Down Here pre-match show. Hey, if we can't get a radio broadcast, we're going to go completely unplugged, and we're going to do this from my phone on the patio at Hampton and Hudson because, that's what we do. Santa United just randomly showed up, which is always good.
Right.
So we will be watching Atlanta United round of 16 against the Columbus Crew here from Hampton and Hudson in Inman Park. If you are looking for a place to watch the game, you got about 54 minutes to get over here before kickoff. Atlanta United's lineup is out and available. Let's go through it real quick. Brad Gazan returns to goal. I thought Alec Can might continue, but Brad Gazan's in goal. Back line left to right, Michael Parkhurst, Leandro Gonzalez-Perez, Miles Robinson, Franco Escobar. That is 100% first choice. Midfield trio, Eric Remedi, Darlington Nagbe, and Ezekiel Barco.
Still first choice.
And then the attacking group is Justin Merrim on the left side, Pity Martinez on the right, and Brandon Vasquez up top. That's as first choice as you can be right now. The rest of your 18, Brendan Moore is your backup goalkeeper, Mikey Ambrose, Andrew Carlton, Jeff Lorenowitz, Florentine Pogba, Breck Shea, and Romario Williams. That's the 18. That is a beefy lineup for Atlanta United.
I would use that word, yes. It is first choice, and because we're doing live radio, I'm trying to find Columbus's lineup to see if it exists as of yet.
Oh, I have a laptop. I can find this.
All right, well, let's see who gets there first. And looking for Columbus Crew's lineup tonight. There we go. Let's see. Hit the button. Who gets there first? All right, so we have.
I got it.
Oh, we got it. They exist. Here we go.
Yes.
All right.
All right. Columbus's lineup. If their graphic will load.
I got it. Kempen in net. Left to right, it's Jimenez, Sauro.
Cornale.
Thank you. And Harrison Awful. It is Artur and Guzman. Ahead of them, it's Akam, Santos, and Argudo, and then Mullins up top.
Argudo's in for Robinho, but that's basically the lineup that they fielded in their round of 32 match over the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, where they won 1-0. They're missing a lot of pieces. On the bench, Robinho is in the 18. J.J. Williams is a rookie forward who's had some goals in USL Championship. Nico Hansen is a winger who can give you a threat out wide. Ricardo Clark, the Metro Atlanta veteran, is in the 18. Abubakar Keita, who's coming back from the U20 World Cup, center back, is in the mix. And Waylon Francis, the left back, is the other option. Joe Bendick is your backup goalkeeper.
Hey, what time are you guys starting?
We're starting now. It's the Unplugged edition.
Sorry.
No, you're good. That's what happens.
No.
You had a question.
Yeah.
I did have a question.
What is the question?
So for the Women's World Cup, we've been curious, as far as professional leagues around the world, what is considered like the top? I know France has a league.
France
right?
is good, but they're top heavy. Lyon is really, really good. The rest of the league, nah. The English league, the FA Super League, is really strong.
Okay.
Serie A has gotten pretty good, and it was actually really competitive down to the wire.
Okay.
La Liga is top heavy.
Okay.
Barcelona is really strong. Atletico Madrid has started to get good.
Okay.
The NWSL is probably overall the best, but not by that much.
Because I saw they did some package talking about all the players in the World Cup. Of course, it's an American audience that play in the U.S. And I was just curious because I knew that the goalkeeper plays for Paris Saint-Germain, or there's someone that
Endler for Chile. Yeah, she plays for PSG.
Really strong. So I was like,
Yeah.
we kind of had an internal where kind of know in men's, but
it's a little more even. I don't know if there's necessarily one league that is the best.
Okay.
The Australian league is pretty good.
Okay.
Japan has a growing women's league, so there's a bunch that are kind of emerging, but nothing's really blowing everything out of the water.
Okay, I was curious. Have you listened to the newish 30 for 30?
No.
It talks about the podcast.
Yeah.
They did one that talks about the original.
Oh, the WUSA.
Yeah.
I've seen that one pop up, and I haven't listened to it yet.
It's pretty interesting.
Julie Foudy's on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I didn't realize all the details and everything that kind of transpired. So, and that, I mean, I was before I lived in Atlanta, so
Yeah.
Atlanta had teams.
Atlanta had a strong team. Atlanta had a successful team, too.
Right.
The league was just unsuccessful.
Right. Well, they talked about the like how it was
Yeah.
structured financially, and it just wasn't sustainable.
Burned through 3 years of designated
first
dollars
6
in the
months.
first season.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, cool. I'll let Pete know. We'll come out. All right, you guys.
We're here for the whole
yeah,
game,
we're-
and then we're
we're
going to do
here.
some post-game, too. So
Okay.
hang out. Yeah.
Awesome. Sweet.
We'll throw you on air.
Oh, jeez. I'll make sure to get some liquid courage.
The beauty of SDH Unplugged.
That's what happens.
Uh-oh, Patty Gunther with a question.
We have another question from the audience.
Are there any NWSL teams that are associated with an MLS club?
Mm-hmm.
And if so, how many?
There's 3, I think, that are directly owned by MLS teams. Portland, the Thorns are 4. There's really successful with Portland and with Utah. RSL bought the former Kansas City team and moved them to Utah, rebranded it as Utah Royals. Orlando and Houston, not quite as successful, but they are directly affiliated. You have the North Carolina Courage, who are affiliated with the USL Championship team. Then you have Reign FC, which is partnered with the Sounders and their USL team. Sky Blues completely independent.
Yeah.
Chicago Red Stars are pretty independent, although they'll do some double headers with the Fire. And the Washington Spirit will do some double headers with DC United, but loose partnership. I'm still blown away by the fact Brazil didn't go for that game. Like, it just drives me crazy because Brazil had nothing to lose after Australia scored the 4th goal. Because Brazil was in 3rd place. If they'd given up a goal
So
and
who
that
does
game
that
ended
fall
up
on?
in a draw.
Who does that fall on?
Well, ultimately the manager. I mean, because you're not instructing
You're
your
not
players.
keeping track of things.
Well, either you are and you don't understand it enough to change it, or you just don't think it's a big deal. But instead of Brazil playing Norway, they're going to play either France or Germany, most likely France. And there was no risk. They could have went for a goal. One goal would have changed it. They would have finished 2nd. If they had given up a goal and the game had been a draw, they're still finishing 3rd.
Yep.
They were locked in at 3rd at that point. So just really wasted opportunity. And I just ranted about that for a long time on the World Cup date.
On your cup date.
I was a little riled up. Yeah, so go check that out if you want to hear more ranting. We're going to talk about Open Cup. There's one other game tonight in the Open Cup.
And we actually have questions already.
And we have questions, so we'll get to those right now. Let's go ahead and get the questions.
All right. And actually, we have a comment from @AirborneDJ, TJR, about the morning show.
Okay, that's always frightening. What do we do?
He
What do we
says-
do wrong?
Really? Let's see. Enjoyed today's segment about the BR study. Interested to know if it contained any info about overall soccer viewing, including all leagues and competitions as compared to the other U.S. major sports. That's the study I want to see.
Yeah, I haven't seen that if it did. I haven't seen the full details of the study if it did go into that much detail. I'll be looking for it. I want to say there's at least some kind of informal studies on that end, but I don't know where it ranks. I mean, last I remember seeing, the Premier League obviously is the heavyweight when it comes to soccer in the United States outside of MLS in an English language format. Liga MX is the largest period
Right.
in a Spanish language format. Probably next would be La Liga in terms of domestic leagues, not talking about a Champions League or whatever. So, yeah, Liga MX is the one that beats Premier League ratings overall.
No doubt.
And I don't think many people consider that when they think about it.
And when you have the audiences, and now with Nielsen metering all of the rights holders for Liga MX, whether it's Univision, UDN, Unimas, all of that, the numbers, and we've seen it on the Telemundo releases for tournament play, how they're averaging close to 5 million viewers for Telemundo in just what they're looking at these days. So I think that really, when you're looking at TV numbers, keep in mind that Liga MX numbers across the board, don't be shocked at what those numbers are when they pop up.
They are stronger than MLS, and they're stronger than the Premier League. And I just think that there's still a bit of an issue with thinking about the matches in Spanish if you're not a native Spanish speaker and how big that audience is. Mm-hmm. It is gigantic.
Okay. So
one thing before we get to the other questions. The other match in the Open Cup tonight, it is Houston and Minnesota, and both of them are slacking. We don't have lineups posted yet.
Losers.
Yeah.
What is up with that?
Yeah, Opta is not posting lineups as of yet.
All right, so we'll keep an eye on that one too. And all right, Ricky Ricardo.
What's up, Ricky?
He says, this has to be the, quote, we are definitely getting to the quarterfinals. You can't say we don't take Open Cup seriously lineup, right?
Yeah. Yeah, this is the, well, we don't really care about this tournament. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, this is the we ain't playing lineup.
Yeah, exactly. This is, it's his first choice as it could be. I mean, I think the only change to it would be you'd think Romario Williams would be in if he was fully fit. He's in the 18. He had that, looked like a groin injury, and I wouldn't risk it on what could see more rain. I think it's actually good shape right now. I think you're not seeing rain according to some.
I will look at the forecast when we have a break.
We'll double check. I don't think it's as bad as we worried about, but if there's any questions about it, Romario Williams takes a seat, and anyway, Brandon Vasquez scored 2 goals. I mean, you give him the opportunity to build on that.
Shiva, are you guys surprised to see such a strong lineup today? I'm surprised Miles and Nagby did not get the day off.
No, I feel like I've been arguing with people since the tournament started that Frank de Boer is going to look at this tournament differently, and some of that is just down to the fact that the Dutch Cup and cup competitions in Europe are bigger than what you see with cup competitions in Argentina. I don't think Tata Martino looked at it quite as seriously as Frank de Boer will. I think he also sees the opportunity here with a draw now that is very comfortable to get to a semifinal. You'll host if you win this match. You're going to be hosting either Cincinnati or St. Louis. You get to a semifinal, and then you're 2 games away from going back to CONCACAF Champions League and lifting a trophy. You're going for it.
Yes. And I know that we'll probably look at the lineups and permutations and combinations and stuff. Do you want to address what was put out there earlier today and just dismiss it, or what?
What address what?
The player that was mentioned in rumor and gossip and innuendo?
Oh, yeah, by a site that I could make up a name and post an article and get the same traction in 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. That's it. Some website that we've never heard of posted an article about Arjen Robben signing on a free transfer for Atlanta United. Check your sources, folks. Please. If it's
number of followers.
If you've never heard of the site, I didn't even see a Twitter account. It was just an article. If you don't recognize the name of the site, you can probably dismiss the rumor. That's just a wild theory I have.
Strange.
Yeah, it's nuts. Look, these things are going to happen. Atlanta United is the new mega club in Major League Soccer. The LA Galaxy have had this happen to them for 10, 15 years, where any player is going to be attached to them for whatever reason, mostly in this website's case, just clicks. So it doesn't seem to fit. More importantly, it doesn't feel a need. I think less importantly, but still part of the conversation, is that it isn't something Atlanta United's done in the past. It's not been the type of move they've made. It doesn't mean that they won't. It doesn't mean that you don't get into a position where you have injuries and there's a veteran player out there that you can sign for a short-term deal and they fit and they fill a need, that you wouldn't do it. But it doesn't fit the need right now with this team at all. It makes no sense.
Houston has their lineup out, and I will drag it up here. We've yet to see one from Minnesota. So here's the Houston lineup tonight against the Loons.
Yeah, I mean, we don't need to go into super detail. It's a fairly first-choice lineup for what they have available. Remember, they're missing Albert Ellis, and that's probably their biggest miss. Ronaldo Pena slots in up top. Tomas Martinez is in the group. Boniek Garcia, Juan David Cabezas. It's a mixed lineup. It's about as good as they could do right now. DeMarcus Beasley's on the bench.
A.J. De La Garza's on the bench. Tommy McNamara getting a start. So McNamara, Martinez.
He's been playing a good bit lately.
Yeah, and we like that. So that's the lineup in bits and pieces from Houston. When Minnesota decides to post theirs, then we'll let you know what they have to say. We're going to be with you for about another half hour because we're going to yield the balance of that time, about 6:55, 5 minutes on, for those of you watching the match on ESPN Plus, and I could drop into another promo right here about picking up ESPN Plus, because if you haven't, then I would recommend that you do, because it's $4.99 a month, and it's absolutely amazing. There's your plug. See, and this, Patty Gunther, one of our faithful listeners, who is here along with the boss this evening, digging ESPN Plus, and 2 accounts of ESPN Plus in our household, because I'm a functional illiterate. That's why.
I'm not going to say anything.
Why?
I'm not going to talk about you plugged in the speaker cable to the microphone port, and I was trying to figure out why nothing was working, and then that's why. And you were going to play Jonathan Dos Santos on Gold Cup duty in your MLS fantasy lineup this morning.
And then I was going to replace him with Ariel Antuna.
Yeah, he's busy too. Good times.
But so we're here for about another half hour. If you got any questions, now did Santa have a question, or did we? Or were we deferring?
Oh no, I didn't.
Santa and Mrs. Claus have shown up, and we were talking some women's pro leagues with Mrs. Claus earlier. The Women's World Cup's been a blast, and Group C today was
Do we want to get into
that
that penalty call on that gave Marta the PK?
I mean, did I like the call? No. Was it the most offensive thing I've ever seen? No. VAR didn't get involved, so that's good, because it's not that. It's a judgment. I mean, VAR has not been as bad as people think it has in this tournament.
Right.
A lot of the issues are with the laws of the game and the rewrites to the laws of the game that have happened here recently. VAR has pretty much done its job, and it did its job here. They looked at it. They didn't say it was a clear and obvious error, so they didn't get involved. It's a judgment call. And this is the same stuff we talked about a lot in 2017 and 2018 with Major League Soccer. Judgment calls and using replay to basically get a second judgment on a judgment call is not what VAR's for. VAR is for things that the referee doesn't see, information that they don't have, and then now I think VAR has really settled into a groove of being there for yes or no decisions. Offside, it's yes or no.
Yes.
It is or it isn't. Did the foul happen in the box or outside? Yes or no. And everybody's favorite, did the goalkeeper step off the line? It's an easy call. It is yes or no.
You just got Santa fired up.
But it's another one of those yes or no's. But my issue is if VAR is going to get involved there, it has to get involved on encroachment. It can't pick and choose because both have the same penalty. So if VAR is going to look at the kicker stopping, which they should,
yes,
look at the goalkeeper coming off the line, which they should, then they have to look at the encroachment. And that it has to be across the board. But the automatic yellow card for encroaching off the line for a goalkeeper is stupid as well.
Well, and I'm going to get into this again because you and I both agree that this is going to happen at some point in this tournament.
Yeah, round of 16.
You will have a keeper shown a red card.
Mm-hmm. In a shootout.
Yeah.
You get to a shootout, 5 kicks. You think a keeper's going to come off the line a couple times? Yep. VAR's going to find it. And if a goalkeeper comes into it, let's say the first knockout game that we know about right now is Norway and Australia. Let's say Norway. Let's just put it there because they're probably the underdog in that one.
Right.
They get late in the match. It goes to extra time. They're wasting time to get to penalties. Goalkeeper gets a yellow for delaying a goal kick. All right? Goes into the shootout. Kicker, good hesitation. Goalkeeper jumps early. Second yellow, you're gone. Field player comes in to put the goalkeeper shirt on, and you have a farce in a shootout in a World Cup.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. The automatic yellow is a terrible thing to add into the laws of the game. Let the referee make a decision. If it's egregious, if it's repeated, sure, give a yellow. But if you are fooled by a kicker who does what they're supposed to do, don't penalize the goalkeeper for that with a yellow. Retaking it is already enough punishment.
I feel like... how many times during our World Cup dates has our SDH resident goalkeeper Jessica Sharman been railing on practically everything having to do with the goalkeepers?
It started as a podcast about the Women's World Cup. It's turned into a referee podcast.
It's goalkeepers down here.
Yeah, it's just turned into basically a referee podcast at this point.
Now, are we allowed to change our picks now that we know what the lineups are, or because we're locked in?
You're locked in.
Okay, because Daniel Price wanted to change his prediction.
Well, we're locked in. Daniel Price can change his prediction. What's he changing it to?
3-0 now.
Okay.
With that lineup.
Well, I mean, it's a stronger lineup. I mean, it is as first choice as it can be without Joseph Martinez in. Everything else would be a lineup you would see. And honestly, this could be the lineup you see on Wednesday in Toronto. Very easily could be the lineup on Wednesday. If Brandon Vasquez keeps taking advantage of the opportunities, that backup striker spot has been up for grabs.
Yep.
So if he keeps scoring goals, and look, he's Mr. U.S. Open Cup for Atlanta United
right now.
He gets another one. He's got 4. One other player's got 2.
He's the Golden Boot for Open Cup.
Yeah. No, for Atlanta United in history.
That's what I'm saying.
It's history
for Atlanta United.
Yeah, history.
Yeah.
That's not a Golden Boot.
Then what would you call it?
You're the leading scorer in history.
That's
there's
bland.
no Golden Boot. Golden Boot's in a tournament.
That's bland.
It's in a tournament or a league. Well, make up something then.
You might.
Yeah, you probably will.
The golden Xbox.
That doesn't even make any sense.
Because he's so bad at it. He's so bad at FIFA 18, remember?
Jeez. I apologize for John
I
Nelson.
think it should be the UTD OPN Dior.
That makes more sense than
you.
whatever this was.
Thank you.
The
UTD OPN.
Got it.
D's, Dior, like blown Dior.
Okay. All right. I'm down with that.
I don't even know what it means.
It's like, I thought Santa was sending Morse code for me.
No.
That'll work.
That's far above my
Weather. What's the weather right now in Columbus?
I am not there, so I'm going to have to look and see.
That's why I'm saying, what's the weather like? That's why I was asking.
Let's see.
And I know that while we were...
I don't think it's that bad from what I had seen earlier.
Okay. All right. As of this moment.
Yeah, it's a 30% chance of rain right now. It drops to 15 shortly, so
okay,
should be okay.
All right.
We've not seen any pictures as of yet.
Do we know if Doug Robertson has made it to Montreal?
Yeah, he tweeted. I thought he said it was lovely.
Okay. Well, now apparently they've also invested more. They're going to be investing more public dollars into the new stadium project up in Columbus. That came out today in the Dispatch.
Yeah, that's normal. That's what always happens.
I'm shocked.
Yeah. Doesn't affect the field at Montfray, that's for sure.
Question on the Twitters was wondering what you thought of Columbus's lineup in comparison to Atlanta putting out their We Ain't Playing group.
I mean, I don't really know what else they could do here. With missing Trapp and Zardes and now Zach Steffen, they got to figure out who the goalkeeper is going to be. Richard Chinnis with the question. They are figuring this out, and Federico Higuain's injury, too, affects them. So, you look at who's on the bench, like the question about Argudo or Robinho. I don't think Robinho's been, knocking it out of the park. I mean, he hasn't locked down that spot. Pedro Santos right now has locked down the number 10 spot. We'll see if that continues. Artur and Guzman makes sense holding, but long-term I don't know if that's going to work. Short-term, it's probably as good as you can field unless you want to get the veteran experience of Ricardo Clark in. Nico Hansen would be the other one that could see time over Argudo or Robinho, but this is about as first choice as they can be. They haven't settled on the goalkeeper, and they haven't settled on the wing with Santos coming into the 10, and that's just what it is right now for them, whether it's a league game or an Open Cup game.
All right, once again, about another 25 minutes where we're hanging out with you here for the pregame show for Open Cup before Atlanta United and Columbus Crew, and the one lineup that we were missing now exists in the other matchup.
Let's see. The Loons, you've got Quintero in there. The Loons don't really give you a shape in their lineup. It's 6 guys up front smiling and 5 guys behind them. I don't think that's going to work for a shape in a soccer match.
Especially if you want Manone to be in net.
Yeah, I'm kind of trying to guess as I look at it and who's playing where. It looks like a pretty first-choice lineup with Opara, Boxall at center back, Gasper and Miller on the outside. Midfield, Ethan Finley, Jan Gregush and Lawrence Olam are your central midfielders. Hassani Dotson is a winger today instead of an outside back. Quintero's your number 10, and Angelo Rodriguez is your forward. It's a pretty good lineup for Minnesota.
On the bench, St. Clair, Ibarra, Manley, Martin, Ohmsberg, and Toy. So that's how it looks for Minnesota going up against Houston.
Yeah, that's a pretty good lineup. I like that teams are taking the Open Cup a little more seriously. I mean, with this break, why not? Like, why would you not take it seriously right now if you're Atlanta United? And that was the conversation I kept having as we were finishing up the league schedule going into that June 1st game was I think Frank DeBoer wanted 2 games in the Open Cup here. I think he wanted to win that Charleston game to get this one because this is a lineup you could see on Wednesday. It's another game for this team to grow and get better at the shape and style of play.
And why I asked Doug the question I did, I wanted to find out what he thought about the guys who were getting Open Cup reps, like a Justin Miram, like a Brandon Vasquez. You know, we pretty much have talked about Brandon Vasquez in Open Cup, but what have you thought about Justin Miram getting regular reps?
Well, I mean, it takes him a minute to, I think, blend in with his teammates. I mean, system-wise, it's pretty similar. It's not about the tactics of it. It's just about learning the runs and how your teammates play. I thought him and Vasquez had an immediate connection in the last match, and that's the type of stuff you're looking for, those little societies on the field that we talk about all the time. So Merrim is a player that can play some serious minutes for this group. He absolutely can. Right now, I'm intrigued to see when Gressel and or Villalba or both are back in the mix, if they're going to get time on the wing or how it's going to work. Justin Merrim is a player who can start in this league and start in these kind of matches.
So, all right, full disclosure, we have the Copa America over our shoulder. And apparently we are we at halftime?
Yes.
And the folks who are in charge of the world feed and in charge of the production on site are making sure that every scantily clad woman, regardless of size, is placed on the broadcast right now.
Yeah, it's Brazil. These things happen. The match is Peru and Bolivia. And yes, they are trying to find now a woman's being lifted into someone's arms. It's yeah, that's what happens. Welcome to halftime without a halftime show.
Yes. All right, another 20 minutes with us. Euphonious Bugnuts with a question. And it is, how does one watch the game if one wants to watch the game? Well, you could be with us here at Hampton and Hudson.
Yes.
That's a strong choice.
Yes, that is definitely a good choice.
Thank you, Santa. Otherwise, it is ESPN Plus.
Yes.
If not ESPN Plus or ESPN Plus.
That is it. ESPN Plus. Who is on the call tonight?
I believe it is a friend of the network, Chris Makoviak, doing play-by-play, the voice of the Greenville Triumph. He's doing play-by-play, and Lori Lindsay, I believe, is doing color with him.
Former U.S. Women's International, Lori Lindsay, will be on the color commentary for this one. ESPN Plus, it's $4.99. You can sign up for a free trial if you don't have it already. It is kind of a no-brainer at this point.
And we were mentioning the weather in Columbus. How about the game day weather for Houston and Minnesota? According to Minnesota,
it's 94 degrees in Minnesota,
or wherever they're having it.
Is it in Houston or is it in Minnesota? I didn't think no, it's not in Minnesota because the Gold Cup's in Minnesota. So
yeah,
it's 94 degrees in Houston. That's definitely a little more believable.
So, yes, they phrase it as just a little bit of difference in weather between Minnesota and Texas. So, yes, 94 degrees in Houston for the Loons and the Dynamo for that particular go-round. I'm trying to think of other stuff that folks are asking you about. Andy Watkins with a Gressel question.
Yeah, where is Gressel gone? Muscle tightness, and that is what these Open Cup matches can give you as an opportunity if a guy is not 100% to give them a rest. And when you go out and you get Justin Merrim, hey, that's a different type of addition than what we saw in previous Open Cup matches where it felt like you were really reaching to put players into a lineup. Justin Merrim is a high-quality player in this league. Orlando fans will disagree, but they didn't give him a fair chance, and they missed out on the talent that Justin Merrim has. And I think Atlanta's going to see what he can be now that he's rebuilding his confidence and building some chemistry with this group.
And this is what Darren Eales and Carlos Bocanegra and the front office wanted. They wanted to have a roster with depth for multiple competitions and to compete not necessarily just only in MLS week in and week out, to give you a starting 11 that you're going to be absolutely fond of when you go out there. You want to get 11, you want to get 18, you want 21 or 22 or 23 guys who are going to be there for multiple competitions, to give you the opportunity for multiple trophies, to get you all of those pieces of hardware that you want in your trophy case. And this is one of those chances where you've got a Justin Merrim who has done tremendous work in MLS, and now he's basically brought to the Five Stripes for, was it a song or was it a song and a dance?
I think it was just a song. I don't think the dance was included.
Okay.
It was that good of a price.
Yeah, so it was like $12 and the lint in Darren Eales' pocket.
Basically, 10% of what Orlando paid last year.
So they had $1.20 in lint in their pocket?
No.
It was a lot more. It was like $100,000, $120,000.
Yeah, it was like $1 million in MLS lint.
And the Colonel with a question wanted to know about Alec Kann, wanting to know if he's nursing something.
Not that I've heard of. I was a little surprised by that one. I thought even if you went first choice on the field that Alec Kann would get the opportunity here. So haven't heard anything. He's not in the 18 tonight, so maybe there was a minor knock in training. It's possible. But, Brad Gazan getting the game, hey, he's the starting goalkeeper in this club.
And at the same time, there's rest, and then there's got to be such a thing as too much rest at any given point, to where you don't want to be game rusty, and just to continue to get those kind of that rhythm out there for you. Oh, Brad Gazan, that's a lovely pulling the Tata Martino look tonight going into the stadium. Brad Gazan pulled the cape out tonight, heading into Montfrey Stadium in Columbus.
It's probably humid in Columbus with all the rain they've had, so the jacket, you're not going to wear it, so what do you do with it? And Parkhurst is carrying it. Looks like Brandon Vasquez is wearing it, and Brad Gazan ties it around his neck.
So carrying it, wearing it, and tearing it, is that what you're looking at?
No. I don't even know what that means.
I was trying to come up with an effective rhyme for carrying it and wearing it, and there's a third one with what Gazan was doing, and so I was just trying to figure out something to say about what he's doing with his pullover or his coat.
Just smiling and nodding at this point.
As you should. Once again, send us your questions. We got about another 15 minutes or so, like 17 or 20 or something like that. We're going to bail out just before coverage starts, so if you guys have any thoughts about what is going on tonight, let us know. We're here at Hampton and Hudson. We're going to be here the entire evening, so if you have questions as the game goes on, let us know there as well, and we can answer them as the game goes on. We can hang on to them. We'll probably hang on to them for post-match too, especially if it's the hour and 50-minute broadcast that's there, and we'll come back on and we'll get you ready for USA and Guyana tonight, which is at 10 o'clock Eastern Time on your Fox family of networks.
Yes.
And
FS1 tonight.
Yes, FS1, and you've got a lot of folks who are now watching FS1, FS2, Big Fox, with everything that Fox has, and Copa America is on Telemundo tonight, as well as the ESPN Plus and the ESPN family of networks, by the way.
Yeah, still getting some questions about if the game would be on 92.9 The Game, and we tried everything possible to be able to carry these games. All the rights to broadcast were sold by U.S. Soccer to ESPN, and ESPN Plus is streaming the game, and there's no local radio for it, and there's no national radio under the ESPN radio banner either. So only way you can watch or listen is ESPN Plus.
El Mataflow, following in on what the Colonel was asking about Alec Kann. El Mataflow says, I love Kann, but his outing last week did him no favors, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't think it was the reason why he's not in the lineup tonight, though. I think it was Brad Gazan's ready to go, and Frank de Boer's decided he wants to have his starting goalkeeper get this game. So that's it. I think it's that simple.
How's your soda?
It tastes like Coca-Cola.
There you
Just
go.
love it.
That's a good thing. Okay. Daniel Price says, sorry we couldn't make it. The boss is currently not feeling well. Good luck tonight over there. Hope the beer is flowing and the food is delicious. Also, hi, Santa. Can we get a cup for Christmas?
That's a big ask for Santa.
It is.
It's not easy to do what Atlanta United's trying to do. One thing that popped up in Atlanta's media notes that I wanted to share, and we haven't talked about it yet on SDH, when you look at defending champions through the first 15 games of the following season, 2018, Toronto last year, we know they struggled. They had 15 points through their first 15 games.
Struggling.
Well, they struggled
Yes.
in the past.
Yes.
2017, Seattle, 19 points. 2016, Portland, 19 points. 15, LA Galaxy, 21. Sporting Kansas City in 2014, 22. Galaxy in 2013, 21. Galaxy in 2012, 17. Colorado Rapids in 2011, 22. The last time a team had a better start through 15 games as a defending champion, you go all the way back to 2010, Real Salt Lake, who were 9-3-3 at this point with 30 points. It's not easy to have the short rest in the offseason, have everybody gunning for you, and on top of that, have a managerial change and your top player being sold to the Premier League.
And your first matchups being an international competition.
Well, most everybody had that.
Yeah.
That's you win, you go into the CONCACAF Champions League.
Right.
That plays into it. But Atlanta had more challenges on top than your usual, and they've had the best start since 2010 of a defending champion. That's why we were talking about patience for most of the season. You can't guarantee you're going to repeat in this league. It's only happened 3 times. 3 times in league history, and one of them was the first 2 years of the league when everybody was still figuring it out. It's not easy to do what Atlanta's trying to do right now.
And we've been, as you said, we've been trying to sit here and just let everybody understand that this was going to take time. And the was it Arch Bell's column at ESPN.com when he went through each of the teams with the big question that each team should have for the remaining half of the season, reminded everybody that they look like, that from his perspective, that Atlanta United seems to have sorted things out after a rough start, needing some depth pieces, obviously accentuated with the Kevin Kratz injury, but his biggest thing was they look like they've sorted it out.
I mean, would it be nice if you had more depth? Yeah. Is it a necessity right now? I don't think so.
No.
Not if you're going to play Julian Gressel as a central midfielder. If you're going to play Gressel inside and you've got 4 central midfielders for those roles, not including the 10, for the 6 and the 8, with Lorenowitz, with Remedi, with Nagby, if Gressel's in that mix, you don't necessarily have to go get somebody. If you get a good deal, if something comes up that you like, absolutely you jump on it because you're always listening. That's how you get Justin Merrim.
Yes.
But do you have to go make a move? I disagree with that.
Yeah, no. The have to and thinking just to kind of protect your flanks to me are two different things. Now, here's another question that we have on the Twitters. And once again, we're wide open for about another 12 minutes before we defer to Makoviak and Lindsay and the broadcast tonight on ESPN+. My first question is, where did Santa wander off to?
I don't know. Santa's trash-talking me on Twitter. And like, he could have trash-talked me in person.
This is what I'm saying. We have open mic, yet Santa has decided to run his mouth at 280 characters away from the location that he was in previously to discuss a topic that we've had previously.
Craziness.
So he's type taunting you.
Yeah. The reindeer needed servicing or something, I guess.
Whoa.
Your mind is in the gutter. Like,
and this
seriously.
is news. Okay. All right. Yeah, you come out here.
You're trash talking me on Twitter and you walk away.
I set you up.
Oh,
Go for
no. Oh, my gosh.
So I'm getting trash talked by Santa. I don't know if Santa knows he was trash talking me, by the
Yeah,
way.
wait a sec.
But I will definitely respond.
We were being type taunted here.
Oh, dear Lord.
No,
Right
it was
before your-
me.
right
I
before
was
your
the
own
one
eyes?
who was being taunted. What happened to your French women's team yesterday, by the way?
very
Great match.
good. Oh, yeah,
but
for
can
sure.
we talk about Brazil winning and still coming in third? Knockout round is going to be fire. It probably will be France and Brazil. Probably. There's a chance it's Germany if the last 2 groups get weird. That's still tough for Brazil. France hasn't looked good. France hasn't looked. If I was making picks right now, I would not pick France to win the tournament.
I did.
I did, and a lot of people did, because they're at home. They should. I think they're feeling that pressure, though.
So if I can go on record very quickly, Martha knows, and I've told this to other people, and Jason knows this very well. Martha is the brains behind the Twitter feed and the Instagram feed.
Okay, just check.
Now on the Instagram feed, I will tell you this: if I see a birthday, an anniversary, a special occasion in someone's life, that is me who is responding. But when it comes to questions and or retorts to a lot of things out there, she's crazy brilliant.
Okay, so this is like the Hillary Clinton Twitter, where if it's a tweet from her, you get the HRC. Knowing that it's actually her.
Something like that.
Oh my goodness! We've never really taken it to this level. So
because apparently on her Twitter feed, if she does it, she'll do the initials. If it's one of her minions that does it, then it's just a tweet that doesn't have the HRC. Well, so is this what we have here?
Well, we definitely don't have a minion situation. We do have what we like.
The boss.
The handler. We call her the handler.
Or the boss. You guys use that.
Boss, handler. You guys, whatever y'all feel.
Wow.
Yeah. This is, for some this is breaking news. For some it is not.
You're going to ask Jason about the ring.
Oh, about the ring. So I did have a question.
Yeah.
So did you get a ring?
I've not gotten a ring.
Are you getting
I
one?
was
ring?
sized for
Okay,
one.
good.
So.
Good. Well, that means it's coming. That's good. I'm very happy because I thought people who did the play-by-play and commentary, just knowing from NFL and things like that, I've seen rings like on Scott Zolak from the New England Patriots and such.
Just because you've heard Scott Zolak talking to you.
Oh my God! Yes, you hit the nail on the head. Not that I make it a.
Where's Roger?
I just every time I see him, he's like, yeah, like this. So I'm like, you're oh my God.
Where's Roger?
You were a backup.
Where's Roger? That's all you hear from Scott Zolak. That's why I call him Screaming Scott Zolak.
Screaming
Where's Roger?
With his ring finger out like
it's
this.
like 8 scotches to the wind, and he chewed on a glass before every game with Bob Sochi, and it's just like, it's an awful caller. That holding coming from,
What is that guy blind? Where's my cop pop?
That hurt.
It does hurt.
John's high on Mountain Dew, by the way.
He's all hopped up on Mountain Dew. Attaboy.
Screaming Scott Zolak, you really have to know where he's coming from.
I'll bring you a scotch, don't worry.
Where's Roger? That was a quick impression.
Yes, well, thank you very much. That answers everything, and it dispels some myths or non-myths out there.
Yeah, not every team does that, by the way.
420, like Waka Flocka.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. Not every team does that, by the way.
Oh, really?
Even some NFL teams. I think it's standard operating procedure, but it's not always the case.
Well,
and, I mean, here, it's not necessarily a surprise
Yeah.
the way everything's been done.
I've met amazing people from the organization, yourself being one of them, and it would be. I know they're going to do right by you. I don't want to say other than that.
No, it's all good.
But we appreciate what you do.
No, it's fun, and doing stuff like this. I mean, we wish we were in Columbus to do it, but hey, Conti gets a chance to take a vacation, which he needs because he's got Hawks coming up.
His wife is Lee, is that right?
Leanne.
So I know everyone's Twitter handles more than anything, or Instagram handles. I know her name is Lee from her Twitter. But most people come up to me at tailgates and stuff. I'm like, are you on Instagram? They're like, yeah. I'm like, what's your Instagram handle? And then I got it.
Yeah.
That's probably maybe very similar for you.
I don't know anybody's phone numbers anymore. I know their Twitter handles.
Yeah, Twitter and Instagram handles is
well,
what I
and
do.
the beautiful thing for me is that when you do it to Instagram, you can send it to Facebook and Twitter simultaneously. So all you have to do is the one, and it goes to all 3.
Oh, so I'm not on Facebook, but the Twitter, yes, obviously. So
yeah, I barely use Facebook at this point. Twitter's where I'm usually at, but I do some Instagram.
Twitter's where he's at.
Yeah, well,
pretty much.
I mean, the kids. Hey, I'm trying to learn where the kids are. The Snap is going away now. There's something else I just read on the Brew this morning that's coming in. That's it's the new rage. So.
What are you thinking? The TikTok?
That's correct. Yeah, from the Brew this morning. They talked about it on.
Yeah, I want no part of TikTok.
TikTok? Do they even spell it properly?
No, they don't. TIKTOK.
John, don't download the app.
Not planning on it.
You'll break something for sure.
My brain.
Yes.
I'll break my brain.
But I'm looking for that. I just want that quick hitter so I can stop doing my day-to-day job, which I love, by the way, and I'm not going to promote my company or anything, but it'd be darn nice if I didn't have to do that every day. I really enjoy that.
So you're really sick and tired of delivering gifts to kids one day a year?
No, I'm talking about my. Yes, correct. Yes, thank you. That is not correct. I need more soccer in the streets. I love it. I love that portion of it. 65 days a year, not just one day a year. Correct. Have to remember this. See these little pointers. I love that. That's what makes this fun. Keeps me on my toes.
All right, we've got a question from Alyssa Martin, who's listening in. Asks about George Bello.
Yes.
And what's the update? 2 to 3 months was the initial talk when he had surgery, and I think we're getting close to the 2-month mark now, if I'm not mistaken.
So a couple of weeks plus.
Yeah, and honestly, I think you could take that 2 to 3 and probably extend it to 3 to 4 because of his injury history. You're just going to want to be so careful with him at this point. He was breaking into Atlanta United 2 last year, had an injury, then aggravated it with youth national team duty, came back to Atlanta United injured with a groin injury last year, got healthy, broke into the first team, then got hurt again.
Yeah.
And then got hurt early this season. So it's been something that just hasn't gotten right. They went ahead and had surgery for it. You've got to think with a talent like that you've got to think about the long haul.
Yes.
You can't think short term with him. You have Michael Parkhurst, who's playing left back. You have Breck Shea, who can play left back. You have Mike Ambrose now, who can play left back. You're covered. You don't have to rush George Bello right now.
The Colonel apparently listening in, and he's now finding out why Philadelphia boos Santa.
Philadelphia boos everything.
Yes.
Like, they boo life.
They probably beat him up.
They threw snowballs at Santa one time.
So
back in the
basically
60s, right?
Well, no, it was in the.
Well, I think they did it again.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a recurring situation with Philadelphia.
It's part of their
hating
shtick.
things.
It's part of their shtick. No, but do we even, if Atlanta United goes to Talon Energy, if they go to Chester, does Santa even dare go?
Yeah, there's a big difference between Philadelphia Union fans and Philadelphia Eagles fans.
Just checking.
I don't think they would have to grease the light poles if the Union won MLS Cup like they did when the Eagles won the Super Bowl.
JP, but it'd be tremendous if it happened, wouldn't it, if they greased the poles?
That's an awful Tommy Smith.
It was short notice.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good effort, but it's you need to work on that one.
All you have to say is JP.
No, you got to hit his line. I mean, that's
back of the old onion bag.
Yeah, that's all you got to do for Tommy Smith, and you're good.
JP, it's in the back of the old onion bag.
Tommy's great. Tommy's one of the best.
We love Tommy.
All right, Jarrett has chimed in with a prediction 2 minutes under the wire. So for the Jay Bailey poll as well.
Yes,
Jarrett goes 2-1. He gets a chance to see the lineup before his prediction, so I think he's cheating, but we'll allow it. He says Atlanta scores early, concedes in the second half before finding a goal on a late counter.
You know what? We didn't get a prediction from Alifi because he started drifting into predictions.
Yeah,
it's like he's drifting in and drifting out.
You don't want to even try to force that. He'll start making crazy claims on our Twitter accounts, and I'm a little shocked and appalled by what Nick Alifi sent in his personal messages.
Yeah, especially with what's going on today. We were watching the Italy match with the World Cup, and then when the match was over, he just flew off the rails and started to say things that had no logic to them.
Yeah, when you say I have a hot take, I know it's a hot take. Prepare yourselves accordingly. You know you're in for it, and it delivered. It was about as bad as the guy on First Take this morning saying that Jordan and Kobe Bryant couldn't wear LeBron's shoes.
Ryan, what's his face?
Something. I mean, it was bad. Shaq basically ended his career on First Take this morning.
I'll pay you twice if he just stops talking.
Yeah, that was a great one.
That was awesome.
All right, so we're a couple minutes away. ESPN Plus is where you can watch. Tweet at us at Longshoot, OSC Nelson.
At Soccer Down Here.
At Soccer Down Here. We'll be back after the match to talk about it, probably in the unplugged format as well. But if you are still looking for a place to watch the game and you are in the area, come over to Hampton and Hudson and Inman Park. And we'll be talking to you guys after the final whistle. Hopefully after 90 minutes. Yeah. Maybe after 120.
Bite your tongue.
Maybe after penalties.
Bite your tongue.
It's the Cup. Anything can happen. Hopefully it's an Atlanta United win. 1-0 is what I had. 2-0 is what you had.
I had 2-1.
2-1
because of messy conditions, I had 2-1. If it wasn't messy, I was going to say 2-0. But since I said 2-1, it's 2-1.
All right, Doug had 2-0. So we'll see what happens. Thanks, y'all, for listening. Mucho plata, y'all.
Mucho plata.